Mark, I'll start out with, how many firemen do you have on payroll?
How many? I have 34.
That includes you?
Yes.
Can you give us a rundown, Mark? The one chief, how many assistant chiefs?
3 assistant chiefs. There's a mechanic and assistant mechanic. The captains, that includes a captain at Central on all 3 shifts, a captain at Station 4 all 3 shifts, and a training captain on all 3 shifts. And then
So how many total captains?
I would guess that to be
9.
9, and I don't know, does that add up right, I think?
Yeah.
And then hazmat officer, arson investigator, there's Spectre, and then the budget I put in, I want to change Latterman to just firefighter. We can, you know, so
Change the terminology from
Yeah.
latterman to firefighter.
yeah, I think it's time. That's an old thing of Latterman when there was only men on the fire department, and I'm sure someday we'll have a.
So the
lady.
Latterman comes at the same pay?
Latterman is just a basic firefighter. So, and probationary Latterman, when he first hires on for 1 year, they make I don't know how much it is, like $1,000 less or something, something like that, for their first year.
So you have 15 firefighters?
That's what it would be, Chuck, yes.
Are you full on men?
No, I'm in the process of hiring 1 guy right now. We're 2 short right now.
So you should have 36?
No, 34 when we're full staffed. Right now, we actually have 32. But I'm in the process of hiring 1 and hope to hire that other one right behind it and be full staffed. I've honestly had quite a hard time hiring somebody. It's hard to get good people anymore. It really is. I've had some fail the process. I actually sent 2 people to the state, and they both failed.
Took the test and failed it?
No, they failed the physical. So, I mean, there's just, and I had other things happen, but hope to be full staffed here pretty soon and get our first picture taken since I've been chief. We haven't had one since 2005, so we'd like to get a picture of the department. It's been close to 10 years. But nothing's changed. I didn't change anything on the staff or anything. No changes there at all. I did increase my gasoline budget, but that was moved over to Lowett.
Why the increase in water rescue?
Why? It's actually supposed to be water/rescue. I mean, it's just any of the equipment that we need, and it's expensive stuff.
What do you got to get there?
Just
Rubber boat or?
No, just like I say, it's water/rescue. It could be it could be a tool. It could be anything new, a new.
Everything on Rescue 6.
I mean,
Jaws of Life.
Oh, okay. So that's not just water?
Yeah.
no,
Water and
it's supposed to be water/rescue.
Yeah.
When you put a slash in there, it means something totally
Sure
different.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Which line are you looking
yeah.
Right here.
Okay, that's what I thought you were looking at.
And really, I don't have a lot of money in, because we always had that equipment fund, which is someday going to run out. So my budget really doesn't have a lot for like buying equipment, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's going to run out a little quicker now from what I saw in the budget.
I hope
A lot of things switched up to the Lowett.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the old,
equipment.
the equipment fund, which is a totally separate fund.
Oh, okay.
All the township money used to go in there, and now we don't, in the, like, state hospital contract. And we usually bought our fire trucks and Jaws of Life, anything like that, we bought out of that equipment fund.
Oh, okay.
That's where we bought the ladder truck out of.
That was a non-reverting equipment fund for the ladder truck came from.
And that's not,
The townships used to contribute, when we were contracted with them, about $200,000 a year. It went into the non-reverting equipment fund, which is where all that equipment purchases came from.
Lowett money didn't go in.
Lowett wasn't even established until about 2009,
Okay, so it's completely separate then.
completely separate.
Which is just for police and fire equipment.
Yep, local option income tax for emergency services, police and fire as well as dispatch.
You can use that for the purchase of equipment when the non-reverting
Yeah.
funds
Yes.
run out.
Right. Really, I didn't increase my budget too much at all, just the gasoline, I'm really getting that cut close, and if we do start running an ambulance, I really didn't increase it enough. If we do start running one, and now with rural metro going out, I don't know what's going to happen, but
What's happening with them?
They're going out?
yeah, rural
They're
metro
gone.
announced today they're shutting down in Indiana completely. They're pulling out of here, so the
Anybody
county's
got-
going to have to
know
come
what
up
the
with...
county's gonna do?
They're gonna have to
They're
provide
gonna,
ambulance.
they're gonna have to get about $250,000 and subsidize an ambulance company to come here. That's what they're gonna have to do.
Yep.
Where are they gonna come from?
They'll bring somebody and have them stationed here, but
So did you get that ambulance that Hayden had?
yes, they have it now.
So are you planning on using that?
It's only a backup. It's a 1987.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not certified yet. We're trying to get it certified, and we're having
BLS
trouble
or-
getting some of the parts. Pardon me?
BLS.
Yeah, BLS transport. And-
What I was wondering is, if you have that, if we have some kind of a lull in service, would they be able to use that at this point? No?
Well, you're not gonna have a lull in service, Bob.
Okay.
There'll be somebody here.
Okay.
We hope.
That ambulance was sitting out there on Hayden's lot yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been up there trying to get fixed, and honestly, they're having a lot of trouble getting parts because it's an 87, because we're trying to fix you have to have heat and air in the back.
To have it
And
certified.
And to have it certified by the state EMS commission, and
So we happen to,
we've
So we
been
don't
work,
really have it yet.
we've been working on it.
we're paying,
Well, we
Well, we
have
had
the
it.
ambulance, but it's not in service yet.
We didn't know that was broken with it when we got it, and so in the process of getting everything ready to be certified, we found that problem, and we, of course, took it back up there to get, just start working on.
What about those people who work for rural metro? They're gonna lose their jobs or what?
Rural Metro stopped while they were in town today and talked to me, and I think the county, just like me, I called them this morning because I was hearing all these rumors, and I'm pretty sure the county was hearing the rumors too, so they're already in the process of talking to somebody. I don't know what other provider there is, but
Yeah.
They
You all
wouldn't-
have,
they
you all
wouldn't
have in your email, when you get home, you'll have an email there from Prompt Ambulance that would like to extend our assistance to the residents of Logansport, Cass County. So it's.
what
even
kind of
though-
money we have to spend on this ambulance?
They'll have their own employees.
to get it certified,
Our guys, our people.
I honestly can't tell you, Bob. I don't, right now, we're
They don't have
looking at
that many.
spending close to $2,000 just to get this problem fixed. And I'm sure that being an 87 is not gonna, it's gonna be somewhat of a...
And that's
Yeah.
my question, why I'm asking, because I just don't know how much you want to put into that thing.
Right.
For that old of a vehicle.
I asked the same thing. I mean, I actually contacted the mayor to make sure that he was, we got it for free, so it's not like, which was nice.
Right,
But,
Here.
but,
we gotta, we gotta try, and hopefully it's not gonna get into a money pit, but I can't guarantee you that. So, we did have that money budgeted this year, $100,000, and we still have it in there.
yeah, I don't think we want to put that in that old baby.
No, not at all. But our thought with, and Rural Metro honestly had been improving a lot. I mean, they had improved a lot, and we weren't having the problems that we were having before. So we thought we were going to be able to the plan was to take this $100,000 and hopefully we talked about it last year, that you guys set some money aside, and I was going to try to encumber that money towards a new pumper. So that was kind of the plan. I don't know how much that's going to change with this ambulance service going out, and are we going to go through this? Hopefully they're going to retain all these people, and we won't have the big problem we had last
Did they go
time.
bankrupt, or?
They're struggling financially. They'd filed bankruptcy about a year ago. But,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're not going completely out of business. They're just leaving Indiana. Indiana's reimbursement
So during
laws.
bankruptcy, that's what you got into, why we couldn't get the ambulance, right? They couldn't get it to us. So
Yep.
that's what I was gonna say. we could
They
buy
told
one.
me it was 100% financial was the reason they're getting out of Indiana though, so.
But that ambulance was, they had to get fair market value out of it because they were under bankruptcy proceedings, and the judge wouldn't okay anything.
And the one guy come today was the very top bigwig for them out of Arizona, and I did ask him if those ambulances are going to be for sale. We'd be interested if the price is right.
Yeah.
So,
Mayor, why the decision to move some of the expenses to Lowell this year?
It was just shuffling money around. It opened up different possibilities. We weren't sure exactly where we were going to end. With a cut in the $75,000 cut in. We looked at the bottom line of where we're at and needed some of the other things, so we moved them into Lowell. It gave us a little more flexibility. If we are truly moving $75,000 out of planning and $30,000 out of IT, that frees up $105,000, so you could go back to Lowell. It's really council's option. We wanted to come in we wanted to come in under the maximum allowable on the levy, and as you know, the Lowell is an income tax and it's not a property tax, so we shifted it that way. And then also, as you may or may not recall, the changes in strategy that we employed last year in adopting the budget brought in a tremendous amount of money, additional money into Lowell that wasn't there previously. So all of those moves that we did have resulted in far more money being available than had been before. So it just provides more latitude for us to decide which direction to go.
yeah, we moved quite a bit out of Lowell last year into the general budget. So to start building some money into Lowell to kind of replace this equipment fund was kind of the thought process. And build up some money in there to hopefully buy some fire trucks and police cars and stuff like that. And fire trucks have tremendously went up in price.
Yeah.
Police cars are budgeted for.
Yeah,
Right.
in the Lowell.
Right, but I'm talking about later on in the future. But I put fire trucks in my CIP, and we kind of planned on getting one next year. I hope that still can work out. It's not actually in this budget because you guys, I remember we talked about it, and you guys put some money in some kind of a...
CIP.
Huh?
It wasn't in
No,
the
it's in-
final CIP.
It's in the CIP for 15, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I put one in there.
But if you recall, last year there was a great debate about $100,000 for the chief to buy an ambulance and the chief's vehicle. Last year, end of the year, he encumbered some money, was able to pay for the chief's vehicle while maintaining the $100,000 balance that he had in that. And the thought was, when we were in budget process last year, that the $200,000 was removed from the fire department budget, placed in the city council equipment budget line item. That $200,000 was going to be set aside for the purpose of buying the new fire engine. So the chief has $100,000, city council has $200,000, and we found out that's probably not going to be enough. It's going to be more like $420,000.
I thought we moved, what, $100,000 for an ambulance or something to the council.
$200,000 for a fire truck was
Fire truck, not an ambulance?
no.
It's in the fire budget, Bob.
No, I have 100,000 in there this year for
The
ambulance.
provision on the 100,000 was
it's-
that you could not buy an ambulance without prior approval from
Okay.
the
That's
council.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I do have 100,000 in this year's budget right now
That could be encumbered.
that's not touched.
No.
And hopefully we won't have to. And we were hoping to maybe, I've started in the process of having a couple companies come in and let us know how much fire trucks, and like I said, they went up considerably from what I had been putting $350 in the CIP, and they're more like about $420, $430 now for the same kind of engines we've been getting.
what's the age on the truck that you're talking about replacing?
It's a 2000 Pierce, and we were, we want to stay in the same. Pretty much all of our trucks are going to be Pierce.
Is that your oldest truck?
No,
2000?
no, but that, I guess we were planning on replacing that one. That one would move back to our reserve pumper. We'd get rid of the reserve pumper, which is up at Station 3.
It's a 1985.
Yeah, it's a 1985. But we were planning on replacing the frontline engine out of Central, which is a 2000, and that one would move back to be the reserve pumper for when we have a huge fire or something. We call in guys, and then they take that.
But the trade-in or the unit for sale would be the 1985.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, you're replacing the 1985 with a new truck.
Yes.
Mark, I just was noticing something here when you were given the list of employees, 34 staff.
Okay.
You also have a part-time secretary up here. Was that in that number?
No, and I don't
Do you have a secretary?
No. I have it budgeted in this year's budget, but I haven't hired one. I need one, but I haven't hired one.
$11,275. You've never had one before?
Nope, I just got it put in the budget last year,
Yeah.
and I was discouraged to hire the person. But honestly, and I'm not joking with you guys, I'm the only fire chief in my district, or that I know of, that doesn't have a secretary.
How many hours a week would that be?
I was just planning on 20, and I was planning on sharing it with another department or anything, but just,
You gotta be careful if you do that, because if you share, then that becomes a full-time employee with benefits.
Okay, well, I was willing to share,
Two
or,
part-times are much cheaper than one full-time shared.
yeah. Like I said, I've made it through, and I don't have one, but
What would that person do?
be secretarial and do all the, paperwork and a ton of the stuff, that, especially if we end up getting an ambulance, and there's going to be 10 times more paperwork than we have now. But Frankfurt Fire Chief, I just talked to him. He said, man, I'd be lost if I didn't have, it's just, hey, I've been doing without it, but
Can you have one of your firemen help you with stuff like that?
we talked about that last year. I do have the staff officer position's not filled. That's one of the spots. It's not an extra spot. Just that extra little bit of money there is not used right now. I do think I have a fireman right now interested finally. I posted that job twice, and I've never got any response. Nobody wants to do it.
But you'd have to pay him for it?
Yeah, it pays like an
Maybe
extra.
a little bit of extra money.
It pays like
It's the
captain's
same as
pay.
an assistant mechanic.
Yeah.
So I do think I might have a gentleman interested in it right now. That's not what he.
And they would do that at the same time they're being a fireman?
Yeah, that'd be just an additional duty is, like I talked to him about the other day, to update our SOGs, to just do,
Well, I don't see how we pay somebody an additional just while they're there
Well,
working.
it's no different than if you had somebody serving as an assistant chief or
yeah,
shift
Oh.
captain or something like that.
Additional
It works
responsibility,
the
that's,
same way.
yeah.
That's,
It's an additional.
Like when I hired on, Herb
responsibility.
Dietrich was staff, he took care of everything. He had,
$11,000 then.
no.
You're talking
but-
No.
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 staff's officer only makes about 1,000 more for the whole year.
Right under captain's, Bob, is a position listed as staff officer. That staff officer is paid an additional $100 a month or something to do some secretarial work for the
Yeah.
chief.
They would have a regular job of taking care of all the orders issue, you know what I'm saying? Just all the paperwork.
The clerical stuff that needs to be
Yeah.
done,
Instead
filing
of-
reports.
Come down and look at my desk.
In lieu of a secretary.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the
we strike
11,000.
secretary.
The 11,000 was for a position that I was actually going to be a part-time position that we got in there last year, and I've never hired it this year.
Well, I'd suggest we strike that one.
What, that 11,000?
What do you guys think?
Can I offer this? just
Yes.
as an
With-
observer, might have a little
With
insight
the
on that.
ambulance service,
If-
I don't think we should.
If you get, if you strike the part-time secretary, maybe you consider bumping the staff officer pay up maybe $2,500 to try to get somebody more interested in it instead of the 1,000 or 1,200, whatever it is now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's better than paying somebody $11,000 to do it.
Well, if you had somebody there, 4 hours a day, every day, it'd be a lot different with the shifts we work. It'd be more
Yeah.
valuable to have that, somebody.
It'd be
But-
5 days a week, yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
issue is if you have 3 or 4 days in a row where you're out more than you're in station
Yeah,
on runs of various types and various lengths,
sure.
about the time you get something started.
That'd be a good job to have, man.
If you paid that position, I mean, yeah, I haven't had anybody want to take it. A lot of it's because people don't want to be, Herb always got a reputation of,
He got flowers on Secretary's Day.
and so,
Why don't you rotate the job then, so they all get flowers?
but
I mean, really.
I don't think
I
we
mean,
should
I
increase it.
can't-
If that
I
much
just
would be
don't
more
know
than
that-
what the captain makes, so I don't think that would be the,
I think they could help you share in that responsibility.
just
do you
hard.
think, Joe?
Herb,
Well, I do know what the firemen do, maintaining the trucks, cleaning the trucks, keeping the station clean, hosing down the east end sidewalks. They do a lot of other things, and I think a part-time secretary would benefit the fire department. I really think they need it.
I don't have a problem with it.
I think I'd have to agree with it. I mean, I can, trying
That
to run an
eliminates the
office with.
on-call,
It's hard. I say no. It's
I
hard
mean,
for me
it's-
to believe
it's
that
already
they
in
can't
this
share
year's
that duty there.
budget.
But that's okay.
I mean, it's not something new, but I never have hired the position. Been,
And we made it
believe me,
this
I would
long.
like to. I mean, I really would, and we,
He doesn't have anybody interested, Bob, that's the problem.
Huh?
He doesn't have anybody interested, that's the problem.
Well, if you do what Bob's recommending, it's not an option being interested. This is a part of your duty. You do it, you do it.
Oh,
you
you're
do
just
it,
talking
you do it,
about
you do it.
delegating.
The only concern that I have with that is the consistency of how things are done, and God help you if you run across somebody that's a vertical filer. I think it's a good idea to have somebody in there doing it. I don't have a problem with it. I guess
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
it wouldn't work having it all spread out. I'm just telling you,
No, because everybody does stuff differently.
sure.
And so one person would do it one way, and then somebody else would be doing something, and you'd never be able to find it.
At one time, I thought it would be somebody to have to pay all the bills and do all that. I really like paying the bills in a way, because then I can keep track of everything that's going on. So, but as far as, somebody to help there with a lot of secretarial type stuff would be a tremendous asset to me, because I'm not the most computer savvy. I'm not the most, and I do use the mayor's secretary a lot. She's a tremendous help. She has helped me a lot of times, so that's kind of worked out a little bit, but
If you can wait till November, I know somebody who's retiring from his
Charlie.
full-time position and is very computer literate, and I'm sure he'd be interested in the part-time position. Mr. Hastings?
Not quite. Now I'm retiring, I might be interested.
Charlie just put you in, or Chuck just put you in for it.
Thanks,
You're
appreciate it,
welcome.
brother.
Looking out for you, bottom line.
Practice your alphabet before you start filing.
I do have one question.
Sure.
On the low, it's got capital outlay, new, $30,000. I don't know if that's fire or police, but what is
that's police, I
capital
believe.
outlay?
Let me get
I
to it.
mean, it should say something.
Yeah, I remember Clark telling me about that. I can't remember what that was for, Ted. He's not here. That was something to do with the
What
police.
page is it?
It's on page 21.
21.
It's new between the radar speed display and the squad cars, and it just says $30,000
Yeah.
for capital outlay.
Outlay,
And
new. New what?
what is it?
I don't know, but it was police.
Well, that's police.
It's not me. It's, it was
It was in the
police.
capital improvement plan. If you look at the top, there's a code up there.
Yeah.
The blue. So it was something in the capital improvement plan that's already been reviewed. I don't remember what it is, but let me see if I can, if Clark's awake.
Yeah, that's police, that ain't fire.
It was in police?
That's
Yes,
police.
I know it's police, for sure.
Let me see if I can find it.
You have your CIP, Teresa?
I do.
Yeah, it's in there then.
I've got CIP.
Bob, you gonna ask him about what he can do about his phone bill, because his is $8,000.
I give up.
Now, I'll tell you, I
I
do
mean,
not,
that new secretary's gonna need an $8,000 phone, I guarantee you that.
no. My phone budget is, I got Frontier. We don't have Comcast, and for some reason with the thing, I wasn't able to switch over to that or anything, but, so,
Well, you've got air cards for the computers in the fire trucks, right?
yeah.
That's-
That comes out to about a little over $100 a month,
See you, Mitchell.
See, Mitch,
is how much that is for the air cards. It's not tremendous. And
Yeah.
I got rid of the cell phone.
I give up
Now, we
on
will
phones.
have to get a cell phone for the ambulance. That's part of the thing. You have to have a cell phone. The crew does. And I gave up my cell phone. I just use my own personal one. So I would, I don't really have that in there either, but
So if we move past this secretary thing,
yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna agree to that?
Mhm.
Okay. So I just wanna keep that in mind when we get to other salaries, that's okay. So I just keep that in mind.
According to the book, the only thing that says capital outlays new says Lowit/fire, and the book has 100,000 in here.
No,
Everything else is
did you text him, Ted?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
I-
30,000
We
in
talked
there.
about it, and I just can't remember what it
There-
was.
There's no $30,000 line item in there.
well, let's wait till Clark's here, or give me a chance to track him down tomorrow, I'll get an
Yeah,
answer.
I do know it's police because I talked to him about that, and
Okay,
and I can't recall what it was.
so there's, I don't want it going through saying capital outlay. I want to know what it is.
Okay. Done with fire?
And I did honestly do a really good job with my budget last year and turned some money in, quite a bit of money in, really.
The pension is just based on it's for the retirees, right? It's.
Yes.
The fire pension budget is for the retirees.
Right, and 100% of that is reimbursed by the state. We have to front the money, they reimburse it.
Okay.
Just 401K.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Mark.
I think you relatively escaped unscathed.
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Yeah.
So fun, while you still.
Got your new secretary.
Well.
Not yet.
That's debatable. Well, I won't say nothing. Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a good night.
Thanks for the pizza.
Okay, Mayor? You're up.
Who, Mayor?
Yep,
Let's go on.
What
Looks
page
like
is
it's
he
done
on?
to me.
He's on
Mayor is on
the first
page
page,
one.
page 1.
Page 1.
Number 1.
I don't do that, that's just the way it is. Everything looks, as you'll see, pretty normal, with the exception of, I want to bring it out early, mayor's secretary salary.
Looks good to me.
I plugged in a number there. I know that number is high. And by the way, I did that in several different circumstances in here. I know the number is high. I anticipate council cutting. I know some people like to cut just to have something to do, and that's fine. I can certainly understand that. I would request that the mayor's administrative assistant that amount, $39,000, be reduced by $2,913.
Wow. That's how much?
$2,913.
Is there a particular reason for that number?
Yeah.
I knew there would be.
Yeah.
What's it come out to?
It comes out to a grand total of $39,000, but the $2,913 is the amount that's supplemented by LMU towards her salary.
Okay. So that'll put her at,
$39,000
oh,
total. Her grand total, or her salary would be $39,000, although $2,913 comes from LMU.
okay. And it was 30,000 last year plus that couple thousand?
Yeah, roughly.
32, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds good to me, and you know, I've argued this point before, though, but Cheryl does stay over at least once a month for the redevelopment commission meeting.
Yep.
It's at 5:30, and she takes care of that meeting for us, does the minutes, and she certainly helps the commission in a lot of different ways. So I have to say that.
Then why doesn't the Development Commission pay her?
They can't.
I asked to, we can't. Same as they can't, they don't pay the executive director either.
It's really strange, Teresa. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but set aside the redevelopment commission. When we went to the new timekeeping system this year, and up until about June, when I absolutely started insisting that she try to go home around 4 o'clock, up till then, she doesn't, number one, she doesn't take a lunch ever. She refuses to, and she stayed over at least an hour every day to get things done. And that kind of dedication is, I mean, you just can't find it. She's just a wonderful person. And I say that in anticipation of her being here for, throughout, whether it's the end of my term and goes into the next mayor or not. I don't know what it'll be, but this girl certainly deserves it. And I wouldn't have any objection if you set a minimum and maximum. But whatever the maximum is, she deserves it.
Well, and I remember last year, we tried to adjust. Actually, I asked for a raise for last year. I don't believe we got that. Susan Marks passed, but I don't believe Cheryl's did, or it didn't as much as we asked. But anyway, with the IAC salary study that we have,
Yep.
I think it shows her as really the only one we have left that's quite a bit out of line. So that's another thing that I saw that justifies this. And it's not $11,000.
No. That makes it 37,087.
Yes.
Has LMU adopted their salaries yet?
No, they have not. But they will. It's on their agenda for August 26th. And he's plugging in 3%. I think they've had their committee meeting, so to speak, usually done by phone calls, but that's what's
And the
expected.
Utility Service Board has to approve that, correct?
Yes. Remember last year they actually cut what was submitted. There was a request for 5%. They reduced it to 3%.
I bet they'll reduce this one too. Be my guess. When you're going broke.
Well, I'm going to be the bad guy here. We've addressed salaries repeatedly, and I thought we got to the point that we were going to do straight across the board salary changes, and I really, really have heartburn with a 28% increase for any employee. I don't care how much she works or how good she is. And this is not a reflection on Cheryl.
No,
I know how good she is. She worked for me.
Yeah.
I know what she does. I know what she's capable of. However, I think this is a horrible precedent for the other employees.
I agree. You'll get employees disgruntled saying, "Well, God, we do this and we get 2%, and she's the mayor's secretary." I can't support that.
Yeah.
But that's why I brought up pointing out one of the reasons was you guys had no problem with giving $11,000 raise to the secretary.
We didn't give a
It was in the
raise,
budget
Bob.
last year, Bob.
It's in the budget for 14. It's there for 15.
Hey, this is in the budget for 39,000 too.
No, this is in the budget for 15. Mark's was in the budget last year.
The secretary was?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
I understand.
There was no increase.
I understand where you're at.
Secretary.
Here's where I
Doesn't
just
matter.
want to weigh in. You folks ultimately have the final decision in this. If you go back and look at her time card, and I should have brought them, but if you look at the time she put in, it's 10 hours a week for the first 5.5 months this year, extra, above and beyond. And that doesn't include the time that she would stay for the redevelopment commission meetings. If there's anybody that deserves it, this is it.
Well, it
And-
comes back to, I agree with what Teresa said, about we are trying to get everybody in line to where we can do the across the board, and I agree completely with that. But I do think that, I only see this one, and actually Carol Sue cut one of theirs, the deputy clerk. But this is the only one that I see that's still out of line, and I saw it last year, and according to the IAC thing, it is. So I do support giving her some raise.
37,087
It'd be 36.
minus the 290.
It's 36,087, Joe.
36087?
36.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
But I can't support that either. I mean, in any business, in any industry where you have people who are committed, and I certainly see it in the profession that I'm in, you see people who work above and beyond because they are passionate about their job and want to do a good job and don't get reimbursed for it. And I think Cheryl's fantastic, no doubt about it, that she does that. If Mark takes advantage of his workload, that's going to decrease her workload significantly, according to Mark. And I just think it sends the wrong message. So absolutely no offense to her. She's a wonderful person, but I'm not going to be supportive of anything above what anyone else is getting.
Okay, I got a question here on this, on procedure here. You know, when we have a dispute on an item like this, we only have a vote as a total budget. I can vote for it, against it. You know, whether I say I agree with this or not, doesn't really matter at this point in some ways. But so in order to get this in the budget, do we take a consensus here and go by that? So in other words, we're taking a little vote here, and if there's
Can't-
four that say that we're going to put it in, we put it in.
You can't take a vote, but you can reach a consensus.
Yes.
Yeah. You cannot take a vote,
And
though.
if our consensus says we put it in, we put it in, and then you have an opportunity as a whole
To vote the
to
whole
vote the
budget
whole
down.
thing down.
Yep.
Up or down.
Okay.
And it's 15.4% increase. I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, Teresa, but with the suggested change that I made there to begin with, by lowering it $2,913, it equates to a 15.4% increase.
Especially given the other salaries here. I'm supporting it, so that's where I'm at.
And I want to clarify that. I want to take that one step farther. That 15.4% increase is assuming that LMU kicks theirs up by 3%.
Okay,
So,
whatever.
You're supporting it?
Yep.
Yes.
I am.
There you go.
yeah.
You supporting it, Gary?
Yes.
Jeremy?
It's kind of tit for tat, I think. I mean, yeah, honestly.
No sense sticking neck out there.
I hate to agree with you. Other people, but
I know you do.
All right, next.
Okay, move on.
Got a consensus, go to the next one.
That's the way to do it.
Mayor, I see a $3,500 increase for office furniture. This must be the year for office
Yeah.
furniture. What are you? Before they close, they'll have a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
What are you proposing office furniture?
There are a number of things that we could use. And
And this would just be in your office and Cheryl's office, right?
for all
Because
intents and
Chris's is taken.
Chris's office too, but hers is mostly new. Honestly, I left that part up to Cheryl. She has some ideas for it. Shoot, I'm used to a cardboard box. I have a bunch of them stuffed under my desk. But Cheryl, I shouldn't say that, but this is something Cheryl has identified as a need, and I apologize. I should be better prepared, but Can you give me 3,500 and I'll console her a little bit?
Well,
We can cut it in half. That's a pretty lame excuse.
you know,
It's crying, I'm a school teacher. Get another note, Ted, for crying out loud.
I could call her. I could call her, but I do apologize.
you know, truthfully, we haven't cut any of the other office supplies, and I don't really totally agree with any of them, to be truthful, but.
Well, Carol Sue's office is old, and, I mean, I've been there. You know, Ted's has been completely redone in the last 10 years and has, you know, nice furniture, nice shelves, and, you know, I think you have to take in consideration what's been upgraded in the building, what
That's what
hasn't.
I'm trying to
Well,
do too.
Clerk treasurer's office hasn't in quite some time. It's kind of piecemealed in there.
I'm not exactly sure. Again, this was Cheryl, and Cheryl has identified the need. I certainly don't care, you know, when it comes to things like that. Yeah, I brought a refrigerator from home. I brought a microwave from home. I brought furniture from home. I brought other things from home to staff the office and to, you know, supply the office.
Just because you didn't have
I'm sorry?
room for it.
I'm sorry?
Just because you didn't have room for it.
Now I have 16,000 feet over at the nursing home. I could put it
You know,
anywhere.
part of the reason, actually, I know the entranceway of the mayor's office looks better, because I do know that Cheryl came in on a Saturday, I believe, maybe
And-
Sunday, and painted the thing.
Veterans Day. Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's kind of what Ted's saying, that girl goes above and beyond, so.
Can we settle on 3,500?
We'll settle on 2,500.
Okay, 3,750.
I'll just leave it as it
I go
is.
35.
35.
All right. 35.
There's minus 1,000 from.
And there better be a very nice chair when I come up there to visit. That's all I'm
You
saying.
never come in to see me, Chuck. Office furniture. Okay. That sounds simple enough.
That it?
That's it.
You
That's
done?
it with me.
No,
You're
we're
done?
not done.
That
No.
was easy.
So the total budget in the mayor's office is $100,360.
All right. We got him for a little less than $4,000.
Okay, Board of Works.
What page that on?
Oh, you guys. 4.
You know, we want to be on the same page here.
We're never on the same page.
We try.
When you start this one, Teresa, I think we should make a mention. Here we've got part-time animal warden. The police department actually took on the supervisory position for the animal warden. I believe that this should be moved to the police department's budget.
And so do I. You know, when I.
6,458?
29,599.
I agree.
When I get a complaint of an animal, it goes immediately to the police department.
Well,
They-
didn't we just voted to put him under the jurisdiction of the police department, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think that makes
But
sense that.
that vote came
Should be-
after
It
this
should
budget
be
was
131 and 133, both of those, right? Shouldn't it? Part-time one, too?
Yes.
599.
Yes, both of them.
Both of them, 29 and the 5
and
and the 6.
133. It's animal warden and part-time. Yeah, animal warden and part-time animal warden.
Both of them.
And this will go into the police department then,
Right.
Teresa.
Just a second here. The problem with, you know, when you just move the salaries, you've got to move Social Security and
Okay.
longevity and all those other things as well.
Will you give me a chance to adjust those? I'll get those numbers back to you.
Okay.
Okay. That's clearly the intent, with all due respect, but we changed the jurisdiction from Board of Works to Police Department after this budget was developed, and so this doesn't reflect that change yet.
Yeah.
Not trying to double dip at all. And I'll be glad
I
when...
would like to see that reflected in the mayor's budget also, with the reduction in Cheryl's.
Oh, okay.
the Social Security and
Oh.
that, because
Okay.
that's tied directly
Yeah,
to salary.
You'll
That's
also not, need it for mine too, won't you? Because I lowered that.
Yeah,
Those,
yeah, I'm just sitting here, and when I started taking them out, I thought, well, there's more than just salary.
Yeah.
The salary line item.
what is it, like 7%?
7.65%.
7.65.
Social Security.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything else, longevity. would
Right.
have to be
Okay.
moved. Unemployment, perf, life insurance, if.
On the subject of perf, I don't know how it's going with the school, but the city is losing employees left and right before the perf changes take place October 31st, I think it is. It's reducing the amount of benefit. You retire now or you lose part of your retirement.
Not really. No, that's a misnomer. That's
Mm-hmm.
what, I hope that people aren't making that decision based on that. If you include the annuity portion of the retirement in your monthly benefit, then yes, it will be reduced if you retire after October 1. But you have the option as a retiree of rolling that annuity piece into something else.
Hmm.
You can roll it to your own personal investor, and it will not have any effect whatsoever on your pension part of your retirement.
Interesting. We should have you put together a class for all city employees before any more of them retire.
Believe me, I put out a lot of fires.
Somebody's not getting the memo.
And we didn't have the retirees because of that.
Well, good. Can you shoot me that memo, seriously?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent it to,
Oh, Carol Sue's got it.
I sent it to Susan the other day.
That's why she retired.
She didn't get the memo.
They're overloaded, man, in perf right now. My wife's dealing with them, she's getting ready to draw her pension. Man, they are backlogged.
And see,
backlogged.
that's what people aren't understanding, that there are,
I'll let Cheryl
what
do
people
her
don't
own thing.
understand,
We're
there
gonna
are
meet
two
after
pieces to
tomorrow
the
to talk to her.
retirement.
Yeah, right, she
There's
understands.
the
She
pension
already
piece.
took out her annuity, she just wants her pension.
Yeah,
That's it.
and the yeah.
3
well,
years ago, and they don't realize that. I
Yeah.
mean, they're screwed up.
So, anyway,
Perf isn't a very stable retirement plan. It's not.
Unless you work for Rockwell.
um, I had a couple of questions. There's nothing budgeted for life insurance, but I see that we had an expenditure for life insurance this year in Board of Works. Should something be budgeted for this?
The way it works right now, all of those life insurance, dental, and hospitalization all come out of the same line item. So
Well, why is it separated here?
can't answer that.
Shall we take these out that are obsolete lines? When we have an obsolete line?
You can request Reedy do that.
So we probably need to keep track of them, so we make sure if we can.
But I'm saying we had a $6,000 expenditure
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a breakdown to show what portion of it goes to where, but it all comes out of the hospitalization line item.
So we could strike. I
That's
mean,
just an example then, in other words?
Well,
He split the expense to show what part of it was life and what part of it was health. I would suggest that you put the line item in to show what the budget consists of for health and what's for life.
okay.
Split that in two.
Well, if you're going to pay it separately.
You want detail on how much is life, how much is health, and how much is dental
If you're going to pay it
and eye.
separately,
Uh-huh.
then have two line items for it.
I think the reason it does that is the money goes to different
And then we'll
providers.
take this.
Yeah, it goes, one of them may go to Anthem, one of them may go to some other insurance company or some other service provider.
Okay, so make two line items out of it so that you don't have a zero appropriation with an expenditure. And so
Okay.
then your health insurance truly reflects what your health insurance cost is, not your health and life, or whatever the case is. Here.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
And then I'll be the bad guy here.
As usual.
Yeah.
Health, eye, life, and what was the other one, dental?
Life and health, just make them so that you have line items for each of those expenses.
Okay.
Just for the life and the health.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if you just, what you've got budgeted for health, just split it, what part of it's life and what part of it's health. If you're gonna spend it that way, if you're not gonna spend it all out of one line item, then budget for it. Contracted services.
Mm-hmm.
I would propose at maximum $200,000.
$2,000?
$200,000.
Will?
What's it at, 300?
300.
It's at 300. That's what it was in 2014. That's what the request is for
We
2015.
really, I mean, I would see that because a lot of your contracted services had a lot to do with the power plant, so that should be a lot behind us, so I would think that number needs to be cut.
We're down to, I believe, $50,000 right now for the remainder of the year.
Yep.
We'll be back. You cut it, we'll be back.
You still giving Cleto their 30,
Turned the claim in today.
so sounds like you have plenty.
Yeah. When it's going to be up to me to do 100% of everything that Cleto does, it can't be done. I can't put in any more hours than I do right now. It can't be done. 300,000 is entirely reasonable.
That's what we did last year. I don't see a problem with that.
Well, we had the power plant last
I
year.
know.
I'm just saying that, what did you have in attorney's fees, like 100 grand or something?
I could run down and get the spread for you right now.
Well, I don't think you need
Yeah,
that. But I'm thinking
you know,
it was in that area, wasn't it?
no, I think
Why
it was
don't
more than
you,
that.
Why don't you put that together and provide that to us tomorrow night? We're meeting in committee tomorrow night on a couple other things and then revisiting what we don't get to in the budget tonight. So why don't you bring that back and we'll just,
Okay.
Do that one tomorrow.
we'll continue that discussion tomorrow. Does anybody have any other discussion about any other item on the,
Business promotion, what's that?
Promotion of business,
Yeah, what do you
It's-
spend that on?
that pizza that you had tonight.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's
I knew it was
among,
coming
that's
out
among
somewhere.
other things. Any event, Chinese, when Chinese are in town, anything we host with them, Japanese as well, when they come to town, they've both been here. Any promotion of business, Bob, it usually deals with some kind of entertainment or some kind of promotional item that we provide to the guests who may or may not be here.
Okay. What's the city building maintenance going to be for, 25,000?
That's in the capital improvement plan. We have 8 furnaces and air conditioners combination units in this building that do not work.
And we are responsible for that, not LMU?
Well, it's an LMU building, but honestly, LMU doesn't have the money.
I know.
And it just doesn't get fixed when it doesn't happen, when we don't fund it. And what's been happening, especially in the police department, their evidence room, because it has to be climate controlled. If not, then, for example, the bloody piece of evidence that they recover, as gross as it sounds, molds, mildews, and the evidence is destroyed. It has to be kept or the guns get rusty. It's those kind of things. And so they've been robbing furnaces and air conditioners from other parts of the building to put in the evidence room in the police department.
Okay,
And-
I understand that is a problem. It's just, it's amazing that we have to pay for it.
Get
Yeah.
thrown out of court, too.
I think
Yeah.
robbing is an interesting choice of words.
10,000 for security cameras, is that
Yeah.
in this building?
No. Locations throughout town, we're having an ongoing problem down at the 9th Street Cemetery, and we're hoping to be able to place some cameras down there so that we can observe them from the police department from a remote location, as well as record them. It's
Vandalism?
vandalism.
Yeah.
There's an especially warm place by the furnace, and
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I totally agree with those as long as they're put in the right places, as long as they're
Right.
not just spying on people or something.
Yeah.
As long as they're dead people they're spying on, then they're all right.
The siren alerts, we're replacing some of them throughout the
Yeah,
city.
I think we have 2 or 3 right now that are broken, they're not functional, we can't get any parts. As a matter of fact, we can't even get anybody to work on them.
How old is that infrastructure?
Part of it's pretty old, it's really 2 systems. One of them was upgraded maybe 10 years ago, and the others are the originals that went up right after 1974, after the tornadoes in Monticello. So late 70s. And those are in the capital improvement plan at $25,000 until we get them all replaced.
Okay, that covers that, except for we'll revisit the contractual services.
And one other, just so that nobody's surprised with this, if you look at trash removal and curbside recycling, our contract with Wabash Valley expires on June 30th, 2015. We're at about $500,000 to get through halfway through the year, and then at that point in time, I hope to be back before council and appropriate money to purchase some trash trucks of our own, to start collecting our own, and we will have to pay for disposal. We're at about $27 a ton right now to dispose. The rest of it will be in collection. I can share those numbers with you at some point in the future, but it looks like right now, if we do our own, that's every single thing that I can think of. We're going to be about $100,000 to $140,000 less per year in collection, and be doing it ourselves. Which last winter we had 3 out of 4 weeks that the trash did not get picked up in various parts of town. It's horrible.
Didn't I see this in the budget for trash trucks, or was that in a CIP I saw that?
It was in the CIP.
Okay.
We have to add any employees?
Yeah, we'll probably be adding 4 employees is what we estimate.
Street department.
Yeah, instead of coming from Wabash. So just, I don't want you to be surprised by that, council, but the number is plugged in there, and we'll zero in on that as we get a little closer.
I'm all for buying trash trucks.
Make sure you include the, in your cost estimates, the additional cost for insurance, your liability insurance.
$1,200.
It's significant.
No, it's the cost of the trash trucks. That's the only thing. I've already checked.
Because our policy covers everything.
Our policy, we have an umbrella already that covers everything. We have to insure the trucks at about $300 a year.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to save money, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And also, we can make it more efficient,
Absolutely.
whereas they refuse to. 'Cause
I've gotten a
there's no
lot of
reason to.
complaints from people about the way they pick up trash. Half-assed.
Just wanted to point that out while we're into this. No surprises.
You don't have to leave, Charlie. Oh, okay.
I will.
Okay, we'll revisit the question on the contracted services tomorrow evening on the Board of Works.
Okay.
And I think, is that all that falls under your area, Ted?